Hey Internet, Austin Smith here with a review of this, which is a lockpick set, a cheap Chinese one that I got from Mazu on Amazon, but you can get them in all sorts of places. They're cheap and Chinese, and they're mass-produced and sold all over the place. Mazu doesn't appear to sell this anymore, but they also don't appear to sell anything lockpick related, or maybe otherwise. I haven't checked in a while. But other than everything that came here in cheap plastic wrapping, it comes with this profanity-riddled PDF that some guy put up on the internet, and I guess they stole. It gets the job done, but it's not a very professional looking thing. Anyway, then there's all this junk. You get a clear acrylic lock, you get this, which isn't in here just because I put it in my regular lockpick kit, and all the junk that's in here. It's a 12-piece kit, which means it has 12 picks and a couple tension wrenches, so you get a bit more than you technically asked for. Let's take a look at the picks. I'll open that up and show you in just a second. Alrighty, here's everything you get in the case. It all fits kind of snugly in there. Not very pleasant though, it's hard to get in and out. The case itself is kind of nice. It almost feels like real leather. It might be genuine leather, I don't know. It'd be really cheap leather. It's got the snap that rattles a lot, as you can hear. It's satisfying to sort of click, but I don't know how long that'll last. It's single stitched all around. It's nothing spectacular, but it gets the job done. Inside you get 12 picks and 2 tension wrenches. They're all made in this sort of cheap blackened steel here. They're kind of bendy, but not really. The edges are super unfinished. Let's see if you can get a good look at that. Not finished at all, sort of just stamped out, maybe laser cut, I don't know, probably stamped. And they're really sharp and they sort of catch on everything. The sandwich metal is no better. The handled material. This needs probably a good sanding if you were to really use it. You got some rivets there that don't look great, but they're fine, they do the job. We have an assortment of different picks, most of which you'll find in almost every kit. We have 2, wow, alright, there we go. We have 2 hooks there, and then there's a flag or a diamond, I guess. Here's a diamond. So we've got some hooks for single pin picking, or I guess zipping, if you want to do that. I guess that's a flag. That's such a weird shape, though. That's a really, really bad shape. You'll probably end up using these two the most. This diamond is almost too big to fit in the keyhole. We have a snowman over here, double ball, or whatever it's called. That's for wafer locks. I haven't encountered many wafer locks, so I can't really tell you that's how that works. But as you can see on this one, there's a very nice, even black coating for the most part, even though it's obviously cheap, but it is actually coating everything, and you'll see on some of the more used picks, like say this one, you've got some of the brass of the lock rubbing off on there, discoloring it and making it just kind of ugly, and obviously you can see you're hurting your lock as you pick because of all those sharp edges. There's also some parts where the steel beneath it is wearing through the black coating. So not the greatest coating around there. We've got a couple rakes here. Let's see. Got your city rake. That one's pretty good. That one actually works very well. We've got this thing that looks like a city rake, but I don't even know what it is. I mean, I guess it would work as a city rake, but I wouldn't really trust it. And we've got a couple of these that look almost like Bogotas, but not quite. They're triple peak and double peak. I don't know why they're filled in. I guess probably to strengthen up the material, because this is some cheap Chinese metal. Anyway, and then we have, this is a full diamond. I missed this earlier. This is way too big to fit in the lock. I've never successfully used it, but it's in there. We have this one, which is broken, as you can see. Now, picks do break, so that's not, I mean, a particular hit on this kit. It did break faster than I would have wanted it to, but I guess everything that breaks is like that. I'm not going to get a good angle on this, I'm sorry guys. It's, there we go, let's see. It's like a double peak. It doesn't have that filled in area, so I guess that's why it broke probably. Cheap Chinese steel. And then you have this, which is one of the best things in the kit. We've got a key extractor, broken key extractor. This actually does work. It seems a bit big, especially when you compare it to most of the professional grade ones. This is really cheap, but it gets the job done. I have extracted several keys with it, and it works. And this was actually not in the kit because I keep it with my regular lockpicks at the moment. There's also 2 tension wrenches. These are awful. This is cheap metal. As you can see, it sort of wears very quickly on there. Not great. It fits. This one is a bit thick. It's thicker than your average tension wrench, and this one is thinner than your average tension wrench. But this one probably works in more locks. They're not great. I guess they do get the job done though. They will pick locks, which I will show you a demonstration of on the lock that they provide. So the kit came with this practice lock. This is a pretty common practice lock, but it doesn't come with this kit really. They're just inexpensive, and the people who were selling this happened to throw this in. This is a Bull Keys lock, clear acrylic lock. Obviously it's not useful for locking anything up because you could hit it with a hammer and it would explode. But it does do a job of showing you what happens inside the lock. You can see the pins. They're uneven now, and you push the key in, and then they all line up so that they're all above the shear line above the core there, and then you turn the key and it pops open with the help of that spring over there, and this spring here puts the actuator back into place, and then you close it. Now this is not a great lock to really teach you how to pick locks, but if you need to get an idea of what you're doing, this is a pretty good one. So you put the tension wrench in. I'm using bottom of the keyway, and you can see the core turn just a slight bit as I applied tension to it. There, we've got it. And so that is going to mean the pins are going to start binding up. They're going to start, the pins themselves are what's preventing this core from turning. So we're going to get in there with the pick, and we're going to see if I can show this to you, because this is an odd angle, but you can go in there with the pick and you can see you can manipulate individual pins, and once they pop up above the shear line you hear an audible click, and then you can, once you've got them all above the shear line, just keep pushing the tension wrench and you'll bend the tension wrench because they didn't pick them all. There we go. This is hard to do at this angle. I'm actually going to concentrate on the pins, not the viewfinder now. Let's see, get them all up above the shear line, keep the tension on, and there we go. So once you've got it, you can keep pushing the tension wrench just like a key, turns the actuator, and boom, it pops open. And then it flies out. Doesn't usually do that, but that's how that happened. So let's see if we can do that one more time successfully. What's happened? We can't, because I can't get the tension wrench back in. There we are. So yeah, you need to get it so that it's not binding up against anything, and it's got a little bit of spring into it. You know it's not just snagging up on something, and then you can just start manipulating. You can hold your hand at this funny angle, and you can just start manipulating the pins. Now the good thing about this is it does let you know what's happening. You can see the pins going up and down. You can, when you get a snag, you can feel what's going on inside the lock. The bad part about this is it's not a particularly hard lock to open, although I'm making it look like it is, because I'm not doing a very good job here. What am I missing? What have I not done? There we are. Alright, one pin was snagged up. It is not a hard lock though. If I'm doing this under, you know, it's really hot in this room because I had to turn the air conditioner off, and I'm holding it at a weird angle, and I'm trying to make sure it's in frame, all sorts of stuff like that. Let's see if I can do it any faster without really showing the camera anything. Yeah, there we are. So it really just takes a bit of jiggling around. It's not a hard lock to pick, but I do like it. It's really inexpensive, and it just adds a little bit. If you've never picked a lock before, this really does help visualize it for you. Other than that, it's not particularly useful, and it'll get all scuffed up and scratched, and it won't look pretty at all in the future. But you know, it's a nifty thing to have. Not a particularly great thing, but a nifty thing. So all in all, a kit like this will set you back about $15, maybe less, maybe even $10. And for that price, I'd say it's actually pretty good to learn with. It's not a great kit. It's definitely not a professional kit. You don't want to go picking tons of locks with it. But if you're just kind of curious about how lock picking works, it's actually probably a bit much. It has some useless stuff, like that's useless, and you're not going to run into many wafer locks, and that's not the best one to start on wafer locks with, from what I understand. But it's got some of these, like this one's much too big for you to use, and etc. It's not a great kit. If you really wanted one, you could get one that only had the couple of picks you need, and just really try and see, but from Southward that costs about the same amount as this kit, and for this one you get, you can say you have a bigger lockpick kit. I don't really know. It's fine. It gets the job done. It does teach you how to lockpick. You can pick locks with it. It's not great for the locks, and I would recommend upgrading to better kits, even just to save the locks you're working on so it doesn't rub off on it like it does on these, which really sharp edges. You can finish it with sandpaper, but that takes time, and you're already buying an inexpensive kit. Do you really have the time to spend a bunch of money and fix these up so that they actually work, or should you just buy a regular better kit? I don't know, that's up to you. It does a decent job. It's not great. This manual is useless as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's not useless. It works. You can read it and you can get a fairly decent understanding of how to pick locks, but none better than what you would get online if you were just reading or watching videos anyway. And it's basically, I believe, released for free. It's not a selling point for sure of something like this. If it offers you a free PDF download for a book, it's probably that one, and it's not great. So take this kit on its own merits. It's fine. It doesn't do a great job of anything, but it does do a job. Anyway, thank you. Bye.